DeAndre Swift is crushing it right now. In 3 games of the 2023 NFL season, ex-Lion running back DeAndre Swift sits at second in the NFL in rushing yards, behind only Christian McCaffrey. And I remember a lot of you were at me in that Week 1 game where he only had 1 carry. Look who's laughing now. But as a Lions fan, this is a scene that's all too familiar. We've seen Matthew Stafford leave and win the Super Bowl in the same year. We've seen TJ Hawkinson traded to the Vikings, double his production, make the Pro Bowl, finish the year as the top second ranked tight end in the NFL as far as receiving. Now we can add Swift onto that list, finally emerging in the light as the dynamic back he was promised to be out of the University of Georgia. But why did it not happen here in Detroit? Why is it happening in Philly? If you ask the average casual football fan that watches the Detroit Lions, then the reason is simple. Swift is injury prone. Yeah, you heard me right. A player that has never missed more than 3 games in an NFL season is also never available, according to some Lions fans. Kind of weird, ain't it? But let's delve into that topic just a tad bit deeper and try to break down the logic. DeAndre Swift in 3 years played 40 out of a total 49 possible games. Yes, in 3 years total, he's missed 9 games, and that's injury prone. By this logic, he has missed 3 games each NFL season, which is true, and that is unacceptable for a running back, they say, until you compare him to the rest of the league. You have outliers. Derrick Henry only missed 2 games in his first 7 seasons. Alvin Kamara missed. Heck, Najee Harris right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers played in 37 out of 37 possible games. Nick Chubb missed 4 games his first 3 years, but we know how that story ends. David Montgomery only missed 5 games, and Josh Jacobs only missed 6 games. But that's it, buddy. By the DeAndre Swift haters' standards, everybody else in the NFL is either injury prone or did not play much in their first 3 seasons. Let's compare. You can take Christian McCaffrey, who didn't miss a single game his first 3 years in the NFL, super durable, before missing 23 games the following 2 next seasons. Jonathan Taylor missed 7 games. Saquon Barkley missed 17 games. Aaron Jones missed 8 games. Austin Eckler only missed 2 games in his first 3 years combined, but he had 8 games with less than 10 snaps and 3 games where he was a healthy scratch. Dalvin Cook missed 20 games. Breece Hall missed 10 games. Kenneth Walker has missed 2 out of his first 18 games. Swift missed 3 out of his first 18 games. Travis Etienne has missed 17 games. Do I need to mention J.K. Dobbins, who missed 25 games? Javonte Williams has missed 13 games. Joe Mixon missed 4 games his first 3 years combined, then missed 10 games in his 4th season. Elijah Mitchell has missed 19 games in less than 3 years. Again, DeAndre Swift has never missed more than 3 games in any NFL season. What if I told you that talent nor injuries were the reason or the issues with Swift? What if I told you that locker room politics, same as it's always been with the Lions, forced yet another talented player out of the door and onto somebody else's success? I'm reminded of an article the article is titled "Ex-Eagles coach Deuce Staley believed DeAndre Swift could be the best in the league, but eventually gave up on him." Gave up on him. In the article, it talks about how in practice Staley would curse Swift out, made him do drills again 4 more times in a row, beg him to let that dog out. In practice. The particular outburst from Staley came when Swift ran out of bounds inside the 10-yard line instead of challenging hard-hitting safety Deshaun Elliott head-on. In practice. And risked the very injuries they say he's prone to. You have a 3rd-year back who's averaging over 4.5 yards per carry in actual NFL games, and the running backs / assistant head coach gave up on him because he won't try to run over your hardest hitting safety in practice. Running people over is not Swift's aim. It's not who he's going to try to be, but it's clear that that's who Deuce Staley needed him to be in order for him to be a running back of Deuce Staley's liking. Nobody drafted DeAndre Swift to run over safeties inside the 10-yard line, but I'm sure there's film of a Jacksonville Jaguars game where Swift truck sticked a guy into the afterlife. You can look it up. But especially not in practice. At the risk of injuring him or Elliott, who were both important to the team, Elliott also no longer on the Lions. And these reports have real merit. And it all points towards locker room politics. For instance, I've heard fans say that Swift's early success in Philly, where he is literally second in the NFL in rushing yards through 3 games, but he's only really played in 2, is insane. It's because it's a contract year for him, they say, and he'll be injured soon. He always starts hot. DeAndre Swift, in 3 games with Philly, Swift has 28 carries in 1 game and 16 in another. In 40 games in Detroit, he had 16 carries only twice. In those 2 games, he had 33 carries for 130 yards against the Steelers in a 16-16 tie in 1 game, and he had 16 carries for 81 yards, 5 catches for 68 yards, 140 yards total and a touchdown in the 2nd game. Now, Lions and Eagles fan, please ask yourself why, with the overwhelming success you received giving him the ball 16 times in these 2 games, did he never, ever get 16 carries again? Why did it never happen? The answer is the running backs coach / assistant head coach that can sit right up under Dan Campbell. This is what happens when a good NFL back who becomes a coach takes it personal when a guy who's better than him is not, leaning on him, hanging into his every word, like he looks up to him like a mentor. Now, I realize this is quite the bold claim to make, but Deuce Staley was a bruising power back thumper. Him yelling like a child because Swift, a more compact, shiftier, finesse player, new age type of player, isn't becoming or trying to become the same back, leads you as a coach to giving up on him? Giving all of his carries to Jamal Williams, who averages a whole yard less per carry than DeAndre Swift? That's why people are disappointed in DeAndre Swift. He's never missed more than 3 games, but he's also only had 20 carries 1 time in his entire career. Think about that. He's never missed more than 3 games in a season, but he's only had 20 carries 1 time in his career. I think people get confused and conflate the 2 events and form them into one singular narrative. They say DeAndre Swift only has 20 carries because he is always injured. But you cannot be more wrong. In 40 games, Swift has 16 career games with at least 16 touches via attempts, rushing attempts, and targets in the pass game from Jared Goff, so being a wide receiver included. If we take it down to just 15 touches / targets, he has 20 in those 40 games. You see, the Lions had no issue with throwing Swift checkdowns out of the backfield, but there was a clear bias in terms of running the football. Again, politics. For instance, in 2022 alone, Jamal Williams was credited with 9 starts on the season and was given 262 carries. Again, Jamal Williams was credited with 9 starts and given 262 carries. DeAndre Swift was credited with 8 starts on the same team in the same season and was only given 99 carries. If that disparity does not surprise you, maybe this will. DeAndre Swift was averaging 5.5 yards per carry on the season. Literally insane number for any running back to just have in a game, let alone average 5.5 yards per carry on the entire season. But somehow he was given 163 less carries when he was credited with 8 starts, and Jamal Williams averaged over a yard less per carry. DeAndre Swift is averaging 5.5 yards per carry, only giving the ball 99 times. Jamal Williams averages 4.1 yards per carry. Now maybe if they give Swift those other 163 carries, he only averages 4.1 yards per carry too. But what does history tell you with DeAndre's politics? How could an NFL coach justify giving Jamal Williams 163 more carries when he averages 4.1 yards per carry and DeAndre Swift averages 5.5? Now fast forward to present day, and the Philadelphia Eagles have one of the best backs in the NFL for a 4th-round pick on a $1.7 million contract who has never missed 4 games in any season. A running back in 4 career games with 16-plus carries averages 129 yards per game. I repeat, in 4 games with 16-plus carries, DeAndre Swift averages 129 rushing yards per game. And in 40 games in Detroit, they only did it twice. Politics. So don't blame missing 3 games a season for the Lions not getting the success that the Eagles are. Blame Deuce Staley. Blame politics. Does it surprise anybody that we lost Jamal, Swift, and Staley in the same offseason? Politics. 2 starters and the running back coach all on different teams after combining for 1,600 rushing yards and 22 touchdowns, after getting 460 receiving yards. The room accounted for 2,070 yards and 25 touchdowns, and all 3 of them are gone. None of them got a bigger payday. None of them got a promotion. Except Swift. Coach Staley is on a new team with the exact same title as he had here. Usually you have to be promoted to be poached from a roster. Politics. That's what politics do to a team and do to a position group. Me personally, I commend Coach Dan Campbell for getting Staley out of our locker room before he can mess with Gibbs and Montgomery. He's gone for one reason, and Swift is gone for one reason, and it ain't injuries. Politics. It's been your boy, There Goes Mobby. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I'm out.